The EndeavourOS team released today a new ISO snapshot of their Arch Linux-based distribution, built around the lightweight XFCE desktop environment, EndeavourOS Atlantis. EndeavourOS Atlantis is the first ISO release of the Arch Linux-based distro, with a new naming scheme using codenames instead of version numbers. I think this should make it easier for users to identify an EndeavourOS release. But after all, these are snapshots targeted at new developments, as EndeavourOS follows a rolling release model where you install once and receive updates forever, just like Arch Linux. What's new in EndeavourOS Atlantis for newcomers who want to use Arch Linux on their personal computers? Well, the first major change is the fact that the ISO release is powered by the latest and greatest Linux 5.15 LTS kernel series, which not only brings a lot of goodies, but it's also supported for the next 2 years at least. EndeavourOS Atlantis sticks to XFCE 4.16 as default desktop environment on the live session and adds several improvements and new additions to the EndeavourOS apps or tools. For example, there is a new sanity check for NVIDIA GPU users and kernel updates to prevent boot failure after an update. Additionally, the eos-apps-info tool is now installed by default. The Welcome app received a new button that takes users to a page with more info about the pre-installed desktop environment. The eos-apps-info-helper tool has been updated to display information about more apps. The eos-update-notifier tool got a new and improved schedule configuration window, and the paccache-service-manager tool now lets users delete the cache of uninstalled packages. Furthermore, the AKM tool has been improved to mark the current running kernel with symbol, and grub-tools now adds information and warnings about the group disable OS proper variable in etc-default #grub when needed. Also improved in this new EndeavourOS release is the Calamarus graphical installer, which makes installing Arch Linux a breeze for newcomers. The installer now supports installing the XFCE desktop environment and i3 window manager at the same time. Adds Zstd for Btrfs for installation on both SSD and HDD drives. Enables FSTRIM.timer by default. Uses randomized EFI path naming. Supports reading the output from Pacman actions. Enables DRM mode setting by default for NVIDIA GPU users, and lets users send installation logs to the developers. Other interesting changes in the Calamarus installer include support for EndeavourOS repo packages and the Welcome app to connect to glib by default. Removal of GitHub from the EndeavourOS mirror list, and a new method for installing one of the EndeavourOS community editions. Now, you choose the community edition first, which is a fixed setting package that can't be altered to avoid failed installs. Then you get to the base package module, where you can deselect certain packages if you wish to, says the developer. Among other changes, EndeavourOS Atlantis improves legacy boot, introduces the ability for users to write their own bash commands, ships with OS proper installed by default, ships with PipeWire installed by default for audio, improves support for certain PCIe based M.2 drivers, replaces the R8168 driver with R8169 by default, and adds several new wallpapers. You can download EndeavourOS Atlantis right now from the official website. More. Arch-based EndeavourOS 21.4 released with FSTRIM, Btrfs Zstd, PipeWire by default. EndeavourOS as the 2-year-old Linux distribution project built atop Arch Linux out with a shiny new release. Beyond package updates, the new release has several default changes, like now making use of the wonderful PipeWire. Looking to 2022, EndeavourOS is also exploring the possibility of a gaming optimized build of their OS. EndeavourOS 21.4 Atlantis was released today as the newest version of their Arch-based operating system. Among the key package versions for EndeavourOS at this time are the Linux 5.15.5 LTS kernel, Mesa 21.2.5 open source graphics driver, Mozilla Firefox 94 as the default web browser, and plenty of other package updates. Among the changes to find with EndeavourOS 21.4 include sanity checking for the NVIDIA driver and Linux kernel updates to help avoid compatibility issues, and ensuring everything will jive accordingly for those using the proprietary NVIDIA drivers track. Number 2. Expanding the capabilities of EndeavourOS information utilities with additional details and more. There is also a new schedule configuration window for the EndeavourOS update-notifier. Number 3. The systemd FSTRIM timer for running trim or discard for supported device on a routine basis is now enabled by default. Number 4. The Calamarus installer, if opting for using the Btrfs file system, will now use Zstd transparent file system compression on both SSDs and HDDs. Number 5. PipeWire is now enabled by default for audio or video stream management. Looking ahead, they are looking at adding more desktop environments options like LXDE and UKUI along with restoring the Deepin desktop. A ready-to-go edition of EndeavourOS focused on gaming is also being explored. More. EndeavourOS is a rolling release Linux distribution based on Arch Linux. The project's latest snapshot is version 21.4, which includes several new improvements and fixes. NVIDIA users have a new sanity check for NVIDIA and kernel updates. The check helps preventing boot problems after update. Apps UpdateInTerminal, eos-update-notifier, and Welcome include this update check. Welcome has a new button DE information. DE is the installed desktop name and opens the browser to the dedicated DE info page. Our eos-app-info is added by default. The eos-app-info-helper is now capable of showing information about many more apps, and it supports using a web browser which can be configured by user. An addition to paccache-service-manager has been made, which now ships with a checkbox for deleting the cache of uninstalled packages. A new and improved schedule configuration window for eos-update-notifier. The function grub-tool now adds info and warning when needed about variable grub_disable_os proper in etc/default/grub. An improvement on AKM that marks the current running kernel with the symbol. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the thumbs up button. It helps make a good content for you. Other than that, I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Peace out.